Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Between Two Brokers. It's Schmoopy time. Thank you so much, listener, for writing in to podcast@smithspencer.com. We appreciate your question. Okay, I really want to get into the investment property game. I want an STR property or even a long-term rental, maybe even a flip, and I am in the Charleston market. As a novice, what are some things I need to be aware of when evaluating my options? Should I use the same agent that helped me buy my primary residence? What do you think?
I don't know the agent that helped you buy your primary residence and if they are good at crunching numbers, but you definitely have to look at your return on investment. So if you have a conversation with them about how many investment properties they've helped anybody buy, obviously you can't rely on them for doing numbers, but their opinion should matter. You can crunch your own numbers. I hesitate to say that there's like a good deal right now in the Charleston market, but if you're in it for the long run, you know, like you just bought one, you're like, I don't care if it is a wash every month, as long as, because I'm going to hold it for a while, and eventually you will be able to take your equity out. So it depends on what your goal is, and you've got to be prepared to be a landlord because it ain't fun.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to manage your expectations about. Yeah, so what is your goal? Is your goal cash flow? If so, do not buy in the Charleston real estate market.
Right.
And also with interest rates high, I think that's going to be difficult to get in most places. But you can find some, you know, the question is it a cash flow play or an appreciation play? So my purchase is in Park Circle, and I just feel like that has a long way to go. There's no grocery store yet, among other things. And so I'm fine with it not cash flowing or breaking even for the next couple of years until I can reduce my interest rate and everything. So, I mean, I think owning real estate for the long term I don't think I know that that's a great investment plan. If your realtor did a great job for you and you trust them and have confidence with them and they know you, I would stick with them and I would just ask them a couple questions, and then I think you can connect with, I would probably connect with an STR company, like we interviewed Taylor with Stay Duvet, and check that out. You need to do your own due diligence because your real estate agent is going to be able to help guide you once you identify what your goal is. So step one, what's your goal? What are the areas you want to consider and why? Have those conversations with your real estate agent. See what they think. But I mean, really, the reason I bought in Park Circle is because we flat out asked Taylor what he thought. And there's not a ton of restrictions there. And yes, the market is a bit saturated up there, but he gave me some tips on how to make my place stand out, which was really like style.
Yeah. And you're going to pay someone to manage it so that you don't get the phone calls about the water's not hot, the AC's not blowing.
Yeah. I mean, being a landlord is a real bitch. And I definitely have like traumatic memories from my former life when my ex-husband and I owned a lot of rental properties. It was like 24/7. We owned them during the crash. We had to short sell stuff like it, you know, anyway, it is a ball and chain owning real estate for investments. And I also own an Airbnb or short-term rental with my mom in Hendersonville, and she hung up on me last week, like, you know, we can't find a good property manager up there. It was supposed to be something that we enjoyed, and also like partnering with somebody I definitely don't recommend. I thought I was doing something nice for my parents, and now they're driving me crazy. So anyway, I think that there's a lot to evaluate here, and you need to make sure you have the money. The other thing is you need to get with your lender because you have to put more down for investment properties, and then you have to understand your taxes. So you can go to the Charleston County website or the Berkeley County website to estimate your taxes, but you're probably not going to cash flow if you're putting 25% down anywhere in Charleston. Very, very difficult to do.
Yeah.
So don't Google, like, you know, Erin and I have dealt with investors all the time, and they're like, I need a 10% cap rate. And like, we've been
Yeah.
hearing that for like ever.
Don't
And
happen.
Yeah, it's not realistic.
And pick another state where they don't penalize investment properties tax-wise.
Right. So they do that in South Carolina. And that's another reason that I wanted to own in North Carolina, which if you do need a real estate agent in the Hendersonville area, I'm happy to recommend mine, but the taxes are much lower there. It's a tricky situation, and I would also talk to everyone you know who owns investment properties and just kind of, you know, have your board of directors with that, because certainly you know some people that do and get their experience, and it makes people rich, and I definitely think it's a good idea, assuming you've done your due diligence, and it's, you know, just know that it's going to suck, just like everything.
Yeah, and know that you can't, this isn't something you dabble in. It's got to be long-term for it to.
Yeah. You need to plan to own it.
You got to be all in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you need to plan to own it for 5 years plus, and really commit to it. I mean, you know, 10, 20 years, like if we look back to see, I mean, don't you wish you would have bought everything that you could have? I do. I'm like, I wish I would have stretched myself more and just hung on to everything. So anyway, it's a tricky situation. And if you decide you don't like your agent, then call one of us. Thanks so much for writing into podcast@smithspencer.com. We appreciate your questions. You can send us questions on our Instagram at Between Two Brokers as well. Just DM us there. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And we appreciate you tuning in.